Good evening. Oh, that was cool, Andy. I like that.
Yeah, I'm glad.
November Foxtrot.
Tonight, Matthew, I shall be a podcaster.
We have a problem tonight with Facebook. We are trying to stream to Facebook. There is a problem. Apparently, it's temporary. But basically, it's nothing to do with us. There is a national or international StreamYard issue with Facebook. So if you are trying to watch on Facebook, apologies, it's not working. You probably can't even listen to what I'm saying at the moment.
No, I mean, because everyone's showing is on YouTube.
All the cool peeps are actually on Twitch.
Yeah. We haven't got any of them on either.
There's no people on Twitch.
Right.
So yeah, apologies. We will hopefully try and get back onto Facebook some point midstream, but it will be available live afterwards. We can upload it on there. So good evening, Andy. How are you, sir?
Evening, Mike. How are you?
Yes, I'm not too bad, thank you. Not too bad.
I'm okay as well. Also,
excellent.
Nice.
We're joined this evening by
in the warm.
Yeah. Well, you've been busy all day, working hard.
It was cold. It was cold.
Working hard or hardly working. Am I right?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, I didn't do a lot. I just kind of went forward.
We're joined this evening by Gavin Reed, MilSim Potter. Hello, I don't think we've seen you before. Pegasus.
Oh, welcome.
Challenge, Carl. I don't think we've seen Carl before, have we? Fat Pigeon, Daniel Guest. Good evening. Good evening. So
I mean, they could just randomly be changing their names.
Yeah, they could be. Right, hang on. I'm just very quickly just going to point out we have a Facebook issue on our community chat. Andy, what have you been up to this week?
Not a lot. Working, buying stuff. I made myself a patch wall, as people may see behind. It has patches on it now. It goes a lot higher, but the camera's all the way over there. So
what's some specific ones of note? You've obviously got the super duper.
Hang on. Oh, look, I can.
Zoom in.
Oh.
Yeah, we can get marginally closer to Andy's head. Oh, there we go.
So there we got the Rift ones.
Oh, there we go. I think we're now live on Facebook.
There's ours.
Yeah.
I've only got 3 of ours.
You've got a JBG one as well. That's obviously
JBG one, a nice leather one.
I can see
Deadpool doing the Fallout thing that I designed. Banksy's Panda.
You got the old VIP Rift Airsoft one.
Yeah, lovely. That there. I'm putting the head in the way.
I can see a JTF one from Octo.
Yeah.
What was that one?
Let's see.
There's obviously a Texas.
Oh, look.
A couple of Texas ones.
A 1LM South African team badge.
Yep.
And then Defiant on the left-hand side.
I do love a patch wall. I think patch walls are cool.
I can't go any higher because that's as much as the Zoom will let me.
No, that's fine. Do you want to drop back down so we can see you? Hi, Rich.
Hello.
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 Oh, no, that's exciting though. So how did you build your patch wall? Did you make it yourself? Did you buy one?
Yes. So I had some material left over from a van build that I did at the beginning of the year. And I had a sheet of ply. So I stuck said fabric to said sheet of ply and then screwed said piece of wire and fabric.
How did you stick the fabric to it? Because I've made it's MilSim Potter is Paulus Wales. It's hiding. He is. He literally changed his name.
Yeah. See.
Hi Kenny.
Yeah.
Right, so how did you glue it? Because I used a contact adhesive like a spray, and I found that the glue seeped through the fabric in a few places.
Yes, and I used carpet glue.
Does that not seep through then?
Doesn't seep through as much. Plus, the material that I ended up using is quite a thick one. So you can get away putting quite a bit more on. Also as well, I put it back to front, so the real super fluffy side is the bit that's stuck to the ply, and then like so when you're pulling it up, pulling the patches on and off, you're not pulling out all the fabric. So I've actually got woven side on the outside, so I've got it back, and that works really well.
You've actually just stuck all the patches on. They're not.
Yeah, I can't
at all
take any of them off anymore. That's it. Like they're on there.
Just no more nails. There you go. That one's on there.
It's the same with these. They're not actually like they're not on hooks. Like they're just
they're actually just paintings. They're not even real. Mike should have gone to Specsavers. Lots of squinting there. I do think I need glasses, but I do have a natural squint anyway, especially when I smile.
Yeah, he's half Chinese.
I do have a slight Asian-esque smile, unfortunately. I'd say unfortunately, it's my smile. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Fine.
Unfortunately, I'm not. I don't like myself.
Well, I had a little parcel getting delivered this week, which I'm very excited about.
Well, you say little. It's quite impressive.
It's very impressive, but it was a little parcel in comparison to other parcels that I've had before in the past. So massive thank you to, I can't get this right now, it's Paulus Wales or MilSim Potter. I spoke about this briefly last week in terms of his just massive assistance with taking what was a verbal idea and I thought would be quite cool and just basically making it come to life, which I'll get onto in a second. But as well as 3D printing this thing for me, he sent me this pack of other stuff as well, which I just want to share with you because there's some quite cool things in there. So I'm just going to introduce.
Oh, look at this.
This is going to go wrong. So I'm going to introduce Desk Cam. Might turn me off.
Well, that's no good because now you can't explain what you're talking about. No, can't hear you.
All right, well, we'll have to run with it because unfortunately, for some reason, I can't turn the audio off on my phone. Right.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it sounds awful.
No, that's fine. Well, we'll go with it briefly. So, and this is really weird because I can hear me in my own ear now. Basically, in short, we have a little blunderbuss type thing, which I think might fire BBs. I'm not 100% sure.
Oh, yeah, that fires BBs.
So I only noticed that before the show. So if that does fire BBs, thank you very much. Wasn't paying any attention to that. I just thought it was cool. It had little things in there. A little back plate for my Glock with NoFo written on, which I think is pretty cool. Some tiny little Glocks. So if YouTube tries to shut us down because they think there's a real, they are tiny. That's the size of my finger. So that will go with my AK, tiny little AK. Andy, I'll chuck you one as well. So you can have one with your tiny guns.
My tiny guns.
Some little 3D printed. I think these are like pull tabs. I might be wrong. I'll be honest with you. He did explain what he was sending me, and then I haven't really paid much attention.
Yeah, so they're like
excited by the packet. Yeah, I think they're like
the things that...
tabs. So they're quite cool. And then a grenade.
I like this.
Which this with some added components basically runs off caps, the old school caps. So I'm very excited to have a little play around with that. But the main thing, and I will come back.
Don't forget that we can't hear you now. There we go.
So I can actually hear like a normal person. So this is the main thing, and this is so cool. So this is what we were talking about in terms of the Picatinny mount bayonet adapter. So I basically described my idea to Paul, and Paul just 3D printed me something. I didn't even have a chance. And I say there was a couple other people who offered to help with this as well, but Paul just beat him to the punch in terms of he literally had it done in like a day. And bless, I'm just so happy and thankful to Paul. So massive shout out to him. But that's the NoFo bayonet adapter. And what this means is that you can fix this to any Picatinny system. And now I need to be very careful in how I do this so that I don't in any way, no, that was bad. How do we do this? Right, hang on. That worked?
You did it.
Right. Yeah, there we go. So this basically just acts so you can mount this to your weapon and then you can attach that, and that now fits any. Thanks, Ed. That fits any bayonet now to a rifle with a Picatinny system on it. So hopefully we're going to be playing around with this. I'm just going to do it like that. Playing around with this rubber. It's not real. Yeah, it's just very cool. And I don't know. Maybe we might, if anyone's willing, maybe we can bring these to market somehow. The NoFo, UBM Universal Bayonet Mount.
Yeah.
We've seen bayonets blooming across the country. I'm very excited. Yeah,
it is pretty cool. Like, well done for bringing an idea to life, the pair of you.
Yeah. Well, I did very little other than I kind of like this idea of how we can stick a bayonet on. I want to stick a bayonet on a rifle, and it all pretty much stems from the fact that I bought my brother a bayonet for his birthday, like a little rubber one, and then realised that he doesn't have the bayonet mount on his rifle, and then I was like, oh crap. I need to come up with a solution for this. So the solution being the UBM. Oh, we have
the UBM.
The NoFo UBM.
I actually quite like UBM. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah. The UBM Mark 1.
Yes.
Funnily enough, I was talking to somebody about this at work. And we were saying how with this mounted on the rifle, if you've seen the spin-off series for Walking Dead.
We were talking about it as well last.
Was it you? Yeah. So I know I was talking to somebody about it. Yeah, so basically if you put one of these on either side of the rifle, and then the UBM Mark II might need to have some sort of like retractable mechanism so it like pushes the bayonet out or something. That'd be quite cool. So yeah, anyway, there we go. I can't wait.
Well done.
Right, is my mic volume better now? Is that more consistent?
It's just going up and down, that's all.
Is it still bouncing again?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll look into that. Right, on tonight's show, we are going to be talking about pack it up, pack it in, the secret weapons of your loadout. Now, we're not going to be talking about weapons per se, but we're talking about little tips and tricks, little kind of gadgets, kind of. And my audio is terrible. Oh no, this is not good. I will look into it. And you can start off the show.
Oh, great.
Tips and tricks and the like. Well, I'll try and fix it.
To be fair, it's a lot better now.
Oh, is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah.
It might have been I was just getting too excited and moving around.
What, just like doing that?
Yeah, too much gesticulating.
Yeah. Oh, is that what it's called?
Yes, it is. So basically, underrated gear matters in airsoft because it's the little kind of nuggets of things that you don't always pick up on. So, for example, you might find that there's some things that we talk about tonight that you're like, oh yeah, I need one of those. Some of them don't have to be expensive. Some of them don't have to be hard to get. They don't have to be particularly tactical or anything like that.
Right.
You can get some of these things in camping shops and bike shops and things like that. So hopefully it's of interest. But we'd like to hear your little kind of tips and bits and pieces as we go along in terms of gadgets and tech and the like as well. So we're going to talk about tools and accessories for maintenance to start with. So have you got anything that springs to mind, Andy?
Yeah.
I've got two in front of me that I want to talk about.
The ones that I didn't get you, Santa got you.
No, funnily enough, I didn't. No, I actually went for something slightly different because I haven't used those a lot yet.
Mine all the way over
They are
there.
very cool. I'll just talk about them anyway. We don't have to do a full show and tell.
Yeah. Obviously myself and Mike and Lance and quite a few others that listen to the show do run MWS or gas
MWS.
or gas weapons, and obviously a bigger part of gas weapons is maintenance, especially with dust and grit and stuff, getting in there a lot easier. So a lot of companies now, I know that Jaeger Position do one. I can't remember the company that I got yours from. Do pens now with oil and grease in them, which is a little bit more controlled. So it's like got a little pump mechanism, and you just wipe it on the parts that you need to redo, as it were, after a game day. Especially if you're using like propane or stuff that hasn't got any silicone in it or anything, you do tend to. And they're brilliant because you can have them literally. They're the size of what would you say? One of the fat Sharpies.
Look, I felt tip.
Yeah, they're not particularly big, so you can just throw them in your kit bag. Have it like a tiny little bag for on-site repairs, and literally that won't even take up an entire pocket on your Bergen, right? Also, as well, some of the oils and things could come in handy for or the gears, grease for electric rifles and things like that. But yeah, they're quite good in regards to the size of them. You don't have to have a pot with another paintbrush or your finger or anything getting all dirty. You know that you've just got this one little unit with a little brush in it, and one little squeeze gives you the right amount of grease for your whole setup.
It's basically lube in a pen.
Yes. It's like a universal grease pen.
Yeah. No, they're very cool. I haven't had a chance to use mine yet, so those weren't the ones I was going to be talking about.
This one.
So I will do. Just haven't had a chance to yet. The two I wanted to mention specifically tools wise are and I've talked about this before. This is from Halfords, as you can quite blatantly see on the printing of that. And this is a little multi-tool Allen key set. And I have gone on about these for yonks. You've got all your standard Allen keys, kind of like the main ones you're going to use, as well as a flathead screwdriver and a kind of a standard Phillips on there as well. And they are just, I can't genuinely say how invaluable having this is, because I've had bipods that come loose. The Stoner, G&P Stoner LMG, the only way to get the battery compartment in and out is it effectively has hex nuts that you need to undo with an Allen key to kind of take the battery panel off of that to replace the battery. Just having a little multi-tool like that, it doesn't have a knife or anything on it. It's not fancy. It's designed for bikes, basically. And I have these all over my house. I have them in my car. I have them at work. It's surprising if I'm ever more than sort of like 10 feet away from one of those, because they're just so good. You run. Yeah. Prime example, I was at work the other day and my chair came loose. I could fix it because I had my little hex nut on there, basically. So that was quite cool. And then the other one I wanted to mention, and I don't know if I was talking to you about this, Andy. I think we were. I've worked out where this goes.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Yes. So we had a moment, didn't we?
We did have a moment. So I have two very similar bits of kit, and basically I had somehow swapped them so they were in the wrong pouches. So this one comes with the set of the bit of kit I'm going to show you in a second. So this is basically a kind of a little mini set, very similar to the Leatherman kind of extra bit set that you can buy. This basically attaches to one of the arms on here. But this is a WAV Raging, which is an absolute well-known and reputable company from Amazon. But it's got a little set of pliers on there. It's got a little pocket knife, which I won't get out on screen. You've got kind of flathead screwdrivers, bottle openers and the like. And again, with the kind of the little prop-up pry bar, you can stick on the little adapter and then you can turn it into a standard multi-screw, I don't know what you call those, bit set. Basically, you can put any bit set that you want in there. We're not talking vast sums of money. I think this was like a tenner when I got it at the time in a sale. But little things like that, just having a little multi-tool on you. You don't necessarily have to have one with a knife. And there's obviously UK laws and regulations around what you can carry with a knife on it. But having a multi-tool, I would say, is an absolutely invaluable thing that you need to consider if you're going to be doing MilSim.
Yes, definitely.
Having the ability to just tighten something. If you have a little knife on there, that's handy. You can just, cut open packets and things like that. So highly recommend, basically. And those are the two tools I wanted to specifically mention.
Yeah, and see, I've got a multi-tool. I picked mine up from Screwfix. Like literally, they had them on the table sitting there, and I was like, "Oh, do you know what? It doesn't matter if I lose this one." It was like 15 quid. I was like, "It doesn't matter if it rusts. It doesn't matter if it goes." But it's all stainless steel. It's lasted 2-3 years now. Yeah, it's not a bad little bit of kit, and that was from Screwfix. Like, you don't have to spend silly money. Obviously, there are some better brands out there. Obviously, you can't go wrong with a Leatherman, but my Leatherman I tend to keep for camping equipment. I tend to not take it out on the field just in case I do lose it, because that just annoy me. So
see, I have 3 Leathermen. Leathermans.
Leathermans.
I'm gonna go with Leathermans because that sounds slightly less.
Leathermen. Leathermen just doesn't sound good. Sounds,
yeah. I have 3 Leathermans. So I've got the. I think they're both. 2 of them are the Surge Plus. But I've got one of those that basically goes out on my kit permanently when I'm airsofting. So it's in a little Osprey 9mm pouch, mag pouch, because it's perfect size for it. It means it's very hard for it to fall out because it's quite snug in there anyway. So there's very low risk of that. And then I've got one that basically kind of travels with me in my kit bag. So I've always got one on my plate carrier, and then I've normally got one on my kit bag, and then I've got one that's just permanent in my car. But these little kind of multi-tools and type things, these are the sorts that you can just leave about in your car at work or anything like that. But just please be careful if you buy one with a knife that doesn't comply with UK regulations. I'm not going to be held accountable for you going to jail because you've got a blade that's over 3 inches and lockable. So please just be careful if you are going to be doing anything like that. But having the little kind of, I've kind of got the day-to-day ones as being the cheaper ones, because if I lose them or if I want to like lend them out to anybody, I'm not quite so fussed. Whereas when I'm airsofting or wild camping or anything like that, I like to rely on, I've got a decent brand, if that makes sense. Like, I'm not going to be sitting there trying to do something and all of a sudden half of it flies away.
Yeah, I think that's I kind of trusted it because it came from Tool Station, my one, but it is starting to fail a little bit now. Like the snips, like on the plier section, you normally have that small little cutting section on it. I've used them quite a bit now, and they're starting to go a bit blunt, and they're an absolute pain to get sharpened again. Yeah. So they're starting to fail a little bit. And where I've done some questionable things with the pliers.
I'm gonna do some sketchy shit.
Yeah. The very tip now doesn't touch.
Oh, right, okay.
I've warped the front, so it looks like a little bit like a duck's bill at the moment. So it might be time for an upgrade.
I mean, Leatherman are quite good because they've got the warranty on there as well.
Yeah,
and you can pick up. You can pick up a Leatherman. I'm just looking on the website at the moment. You can get a Leatherman Wingman for 60 quid.
Yeah, they're not much.
Leatherman REVs for 45. So you don't have to spend silly money. I mean, you're probably talking for the Surge or the Wave or anything like that, kind of more the upper tier of 100 plus. But just get yourself a half decent multi-tool, and don't get kind of, to me, and I don't know about you, Andy, I always get suckered into that. Oh, it's got 500 functions. 500 functions or something. It's like, why do I need that?
Oh, it can wipe your ass for you. Yeah, brilliant. I'll have that. Thank you very much.
Oh, look, I've got my fish descaler. Great.
Yeah.
How many times am I descaling fish? Now, don't get me wrong. I appreciate there are people out there that might genuinely need fish descalers. I'm not necessarily one of those people.
You're not that man.
No, I'm not. I don't do an awful lot of fish descaling in my day. So.
But then again, I'll show this. Pegasus has said he's got a special tool for sharpening the pincer bit. Obviously, if you're going to have a knife, a nice simple sharpener. You don't have to take that out as part of your kit, but it might be something worth.
I do.
Might be worth. Do you?
Yeah.
But I mean, like, I've got a nice little tungsten one that you just kind of do each side, and then I've got like the proper. I forgot what they call it, like the block. I've got the proper block.
Oh, the whetstone.
Yeah, wet and dry.
Yeah, just to clarify, I'm not carrying a whetstone around with me. That would be
No, that's what I mean.
like the the big ones. Like, just my big honing strap to like do the old.
Yeah, I've got a set. I've got one of those for my chisel set. But yeah, like I'll occasionally do my knives when I know that I've used them a lot. So like keeping them sharp and things like that is another thing. You can pick them up for a couple of quid. They're not much.
Yeah, Lansky do a blade medic. Blade medic, which is a little kind of pocket sharpener type thing, and it's the kind of it's the kind of thing you hold the knife and then you kind of just run it over, and it's just a kind of fairly basic. It works. You just got to be careful what you're running over. What
I don't like them. I always find that you end up. I always find that you end up damaging the tip of the blade because you're as you're scraping it through, you've got to be really careful. Whereas with a nice stone, you can just be nice and smooth. But I mean, for an emergency,
in the field and you want to cut something,
borrow someone else's who's sharpened their knife.
I'm just carrying my 2 pound whetstone.
But there's a couple of like Call Sign Samurai. He's said that the Crank Brother multi-tool is another good one. And Barnaby Hill has said have a look at the SOG Power Pint multi-tool.
The power. I was looking at this in the week, funnily enough, because they do a little tiny knife that is not and it might be that one. It's about that big. It fully complies with UK law on sort of regular carry, and it wasn't a huge amount of money. But I was just like, I don't need another knife. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to dig that one out. But yeah, SOG is a good brand.
Yep. Crank Brothers, I haven't heard of. I might have a little look at that.
It looked like, just from a quick Google just now, it looked like a kind of a bicycle tool type esque. That was the Senti one. If you're interested, have a look at the SOG Senti one. It is a tiny little knife. It was £18. But again, because with the shipping and stuff like that, I started to go down this rabbit hole of, well, if I add this, then they'll get free shipping. Then you end up spending vastly more money than you ever intended to. And it's that kind of thing. It just pops up on Facebook and you go, oh, that looks pretty. This is the Senti one, or the Senti I don't know.
Cool. Call Sign Samurai's just said, it's a bike tool. The Crank Brothers multi.
There you go. That's the Senti I, by the way. So you can compare that to the size of a dime and some headphones. A tiny little knife.
That is tiny.
And then it was only £18, and I was like, "Oh, look, free shipping on orders over 70."
What are you going to do with it? Like what? Like genuinely, what are you going to cut?
This was the thing.
I've got table knives. Like I've literally got table knives that are bigger than that.
Yeah. So this was my point: is that it's great as a concept, and if you need a knife in a pinch, if you've got it on you somewhere, like on your keys or something like that, fine. But then I'm like, I don't know if I want a knife on my keys because I keep my keys in my pocket quite a lot, and I don't want something that could, for whatever reason, open up. I sit down and I just stab myself in the leg with. I mean, it's only a tiny knife, but it's still freaking sharp. What's the blade length? 3.56 centimeters. I mean, that's quite a chunk of leg that'll go into. And then I was like, oh, well, maybe I could have it on like a plate carrier. And then I was getting to a point where I was having to make more and more justifications.
To buy it.
Well, maybe. And then I don't know. Maybe it's a sign I'm maturing. But I was like, no, you know what? I'm going to put that on hold. Maybe something in the future.
I'm just gonna say that, like, that is. It took me a minute to work out what the name of this person was until the trap takes us. I actually think that's quite a deep and meaningful YouTube thing. Welcome, howdy.
So yeah, get yourself a multi-tool. You definitely need some sort of multi-tool. Buy wisely. Doesn't have to be expensive. You know, if you're shopping on a budget, you can get something practical and cheap. But just be aware that obviously if it's cheap, it's it might not.
Gavin Reed, Leatherman have a knifeless rebar, which is good for the choice for us UK losers.
Yeah. I mean, you can, with the Leatherman, you can take them apart and replace sections of it. I don't know at what point that invalidates any warranty or anything like that on it, but you know, it's doable. But it is hard.
I mean, it's just a faff, isn't it? It's just be sensible with it.
Right. The only other thing I wanted to mention is a battery charger. So this is kind of more down the route of kit maintenance. And sorry, no, not a charger. It's not a charger. This is a battery meter for LiPo batteries. You can plug in the little white balance plug.
Okay, yeah.
Batteries.
Stick with that one. It sounds good. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's not the charging plug. It's the little white balancing plug.
Yeah, it's the. I always call it like the little data node.
Yeah, data node sounds cool, better than balancing plug. But hey ho, you know, we're all about inclusivity, and I don't want to sound like
data balancing node. Yeah.
So these are available for sort of like £6-7 on Amazon, and what you can do is plug your data balancing node into the little lithium checker at the end, and it gives you a fairly good representation as to what your battery is at. So it includes things like charging. For some reason, that's in German. It's all in German. This is great. This is really helpful.
Brilliant. That's just what you need, isn't it?
Okay.
He's been on those German sites again, ladies and gentlemen.
Been on the old German websites. But yeah, basically this allows you to check the battery measurement. You know, you get a percentage, you can kind of see volt totals and things. You can there's a whole variety of other settings on there, which I was hoping to show you, but I can't read the German. It's got a structuriert as you need. So yeah, a little battery charger. You know, the number of times that I don't know, the number of times, especially with the lithium ion battery. So I've got a number of the Titan batteries, and I charge them nigh on every time I go, but very rarely do they actually need it. They are usually at a good sort of like 50-60%. And that will last me for a weekend anyway. I'll come back and that will still be on like 40% for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I'm just not shooting enough people.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the answer. But
it's right.
You know, having that little checker. No, exactly. But the little battery chargers, the little battery checkers, sorry, they are just really helpful to know. You know, is that battery nearly dead? Is it not? I've had some before that have gone below the recommended minimum, so it goes into like safe mode. The battery charger on that just kind of allows you to check what the actual capacity of that is without obviously plugging it into a battery charger, which can be detrimental.
Because you can also get, you can always get those. I can't remember which company did it, but there was a. It basically you plugged it into a MOSFET. And you had a little screen, and it counted how many it linked in with the tracer unit, so it counted how many rounds you've used, what your battery life is still on it, and it was all on a little display screen that you could put on the back of your rifle, round counters, things like that. But that also had a battery reader built into it as well. And I think the new Bluetooth, the latest Bluetooth MOSFET, I can't remember who makes it off the top of my head. Someone will tell me. It's quite a well-known MOSFET. Can't remember it. Generally, can't think of the name. But that you connect with your Bluetooth phone, and that will give you a battery reading as well.
Oh, okay. I know Gate Titan.
That's it, Gate Titan. Thank you. Couldn't remember.
I couldn't remember.
Generally, my brain.
I knew it was Gate. I couldn't remember what the Titan was. But yeah.
But then the latest, their latest update for their new Bluetooth ones does that as well. Gives you a battery reading, from what I understand.
Which is good if you've got it in your gun. But
Yes.
if you don't have it in your gun and you don't want to faff around, because with my Stoner again, because I've got an Allen key off the back plate.
Mm-hmm.
If I've had this so many times, I get the thing out, put it in, and then I stupidly don't check it before I put the back plate back on again. I might be in the safe zone, to be fair. So there's obviously we're not going to be firing in the safe zone. Put the back plate on, head on out to the range or into the game, start firing, and then the battery just like 3 rounds later dies off. So. Marky Mark can see it on his Apple Watch with the Titan. That's quite cool.
Yeah, because the new app. Yeah, Titan have done well actually. Causes a lot of problem for marshals though.
Yeah.
Because people can just change it. Yeah, people can just change it now.
Don't be a dick, and we won't devolve into that episode this evening, because that's always
we're happy. We're happy this evening.
Yay! Gavin has just sent me a link to a portable whetstone, as well as a couple other little projects. Sorry, my throat has just closed up. Excellent podcasting.
Yes.
So this isn't a whetstone. This is an upper lower receiver cover, an AR M4. So once you have taken your riff apart, it basically acts as a little cover to stop grime and dirt and stuff from getting into there, which is quite a clever idea.
I like that.
I like that. With any element of storage, if you're going to store something for a reasonable amount of time, the more protection and kind of care that you can give your kit. And it comes in funky colours. Not so sure about the stock on that one. That's a little bit right? But I like
that. That's cool.
Yeah. And you can get them for different brands. So TMMWS, VFC M4, Vipertech M4, GHK M4, Systema M4, the GBLS DAS GDR15, and the AR15, which is just a real gun.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And then he also sent a link for the Viking whetstone from Wazoo, which is $36. And this is basically, it looks very similar to a dog tag, but is in fact a whetstone that hangs around your neck, which is quite a cool idea.
I like that. Just take it off before you start.
It's very enthusiastic trying to whetstone a saw blade.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, that just takes time though, doesn't it?
Yeah. But that's cool. I like that. Thanks, Gavin.
I like that.
So, next on our agenda this evening, we are going to be talking about. Oh, bloody hell! I've lost the page with it on, Andy. Where is it?
We are on.
What was the next thing we were going to be talking about?
Tactical organisation and storage.
That's it. That's the one. So, in terms of
bags.
Yeah,
bags,
it's not just bags. So
basically,
we're talking about basically, out in the field. So this isn't. We've talked about kit maintenance and storage a couple of episodes ago in terms of boxes and crates and the like. This is more when you're out in the field. It's your admin. We want to make sure that you know where all your stuff is and the like. So the first thing I want to talk about is get yourself a dump pouch.
Yes.
I have stupidly made the mistake of having a dump pouch for years, using it quite regularly, and then thinking I don't need a dump pouch anymore, because I'm running effectively mid caps.
Yeah.
And I don't skirmish per se. I don't use a lot of magazines, so it's not like I'm running through loads of. I don't need to carry loads of ammo, or anything like that. And there's not always like loads of objectives to carry, like little things I've got to put in a pouch.
It's just not that. It's just not ammo though.
No, I know. And
the amount of
so
things
annoying.
that I put in there, like literally, like on a little patrol where I know if we're not going to have a firefight or anything, a bottle of water will go in there. Like,
Yeah.
I know that it's in there. Sweets,
intel, objectives.
Spare set of gloves if I know that I've got. If I know that we are going to go out for a contact. It's like sometimes I'll throw my tourniquet in there or my bandage, so I know that it can be easily got. Yeah, I don't think I could live without a dump pouch now.
No.
And when you think about it, of how much you actually like utilize just having a large open pocket, you're an idiot for taking it off.
I know. Now I highly recommend personally, and I'd be interested to see your opinion, Andy, but I'm guessing it'll be the same, to get one that folds up, because there are times where you don't need a dump pouch, but having that all rolled up means you're going to have a better profile getting through doorways and things like that. You're not going to be snagging bushes and stuff. The location of your dump pouch, where do you have yours? Because I've seen a growing trend of people with dump pouches on the front and just off to the side on your hips, basically just above your thighs.
So I have mine. I don't have mine center. I have mine to basically over my left butt cheek. I just find it more comfortable just to have it there, because it's literally I just put my hand back a little bit, and I know that I can get into it. But I have noticed a lot of people wearing the dump pouch on the front. To me, my balls get in the way. I ain't gonna lie.
How high are you wearing it?
Yeah. I don't like the fact of running. If I've put a gas magazine there in my dump pouch and I start running, that to me it's just a no-brainer not to have it where it just smacks against your groin the entire time.
Yeah, I personally prefer like back right hip, sort of over my butt cheek, or dead center on my back. Are
you left-handed?
It's just personal preference.
Are you a left-handed shooter?
No, I can shoot left or right. So if it's behind me, I can put things in there.
Yeah.
With no problem. So if it's dead center, whereas obviously if it's off to one side, I struggle with that, because if I've got gun up with my right dominant hand and it's on my back right, I'm not going to be doing much. But left, so it generally tends to sit on my back, like right in the dead center, so I can drop it in there. But yeah, I mean, placement, it's personal preference, isn't it? Really, I haven't got a problem with people who wear them on the front or anything like that. I actually quite like it as a concept, especially if you're doing like a range day or anything like that. A bit of training or anything, having the ability that you can kind of just drop stuff in front of you makes life a lot easier.
Yeah.
But there's two products I want to talk about specifically, because to me, kind of talking about this rolling and folding and everything like that, I've previously had a Condor one that kind of rolled up into I'll call it almost like a Coke bottle size, like a plastic Coke bottle, which is quite large.
Yeah,
but,
yeah.
when it unrolled, you had quite a lot of flexibility there. It's quite a big pouch. Really liking this one at the moment. This is the Warrior Slimline foldable dump pouch.
That's what I have.
They come in a variety of colors. This one's in multicam. When this is done up, it is effectively one molly strip wide, which means you're not taking up an awful lot of molly retail space on your kit, be it on your belt. If it's on you could run it on a cummerbund. I probably wouldn't run it any higher on your plate carrier, otherwise it's going to be literally you kind of dipping in from the top.
Because it's got on this as well. It's actually got quite a strong. I think it must be like some sort of rubber and metal sort of ring that keeps it open. Like it's very flexible, and it always, like I've had it rolled up for like months, and literally you unwrap it and it will bounce back to how it was. It doesn't seem to get crushed, and it does roll up really small. It's deep. The only thing that I don't particularly like is something that I might sort out myself, I might send it off to Mission Tailors, is that the bottom section has only got one tiny little weep hole for if water gets in there. But because it's so deep and it is quite slimline, any debris or anything that gets in there is actually quite hard to get out. Because of that ring, you can only, and the back panel goes down quite far. So to get crap out of it once some knobhead behind you fills it full of rocks and stones and leaves, is to actually take off the belt and turn it upside down and shake it. I think it would be a lot easier if it had sort of like a mesh bottom or something where it can, like the smaller dirt and things like that could come out a bit easier.
You could even put a zip in or something like that, couldn't you? Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it introduces a weak point, I guess.
It's a very good system. It's one that I probably won't change for a long time.
Well, let me see if I can tempt you away, because this is something I'm running at the moment and quite enjoy. Marky Mark has thrown into the ring the Viper VX Stuffer dump bag. This one's in multi-terrain as well. This one comprises 2 molly strips, but for the size of the pouch that you can kind of get as against the mounting, it looks to be quite proficient on that front. I think we could probably safely say. So that's a cool bit of kit. That's only $8.95 as well. So from Cadet Direct, so you're saving yourself a comparison of the what's this one? 27 quid for the Warrior one. But what I want to show you is the JJs. Look at this. This is tiny.
It's so small.
It is absolutely giddy. I think this is only one molly strip as well. I think this is the molly strip along the back. So again, very small setup.
Oh, is that
It's
full mesh as well?
Full mesh.
Oh.
So it got rid of your dirt issue that we just talked about. Now, in terms of the size, obviously we're not talking necessarily a comparable volume. But look at that. It's very small. It's very small. I mean, this is the sort of dump pouch I could see having if you've got your main one. So say you ran a Warrior or something like that. You've got your main one kind of in your go-to position where, you know, you just want to, that's where you regularly run it, everything like that. But then you're potentially running as a team. You're going to potentially be carrying extra mags for other teammates, pyro, objectives, anything like that. This is the sort of thing you could have kitted onto your belt. You probably, you know, forget it's there. And then when you need it, all of a sudden, deploy the bag.
So,
you know,
yeah.
and it just adds an extra level of carry to your kit.
Oh, but Paulus Wales.
How much is the JJ's? Exactly, right? So we're talking £33.
What?
Yeah. So compare that.
Mission Tailors. I'm just gonna go. Make me this.
No, you can do. But I mean,
see,
if you're going to spend 27 on the Warrior one,
yeah. If they I just tried scrolling up on your screen. The thing with the JJs is, right, I like it, but it doesn't look like it's got that ring that opens it up.
No, so it looks like it's got
that
something
seems to be
there.
just seems to be just a pull cord to me. Whereas the other one, the
if you look,
one,
there is some sort of band in there because you can see that there's like a. It does look like there's something in there.
I might have to buy one and compare. Oh, it's Christmas. Christmas presents for myself.
So, yeah, I thought that was quite cool. And I must say that, you know, I know it's 30 quid and we're talking about 30 quid for a dump pouch. But, you know, it's JJ's is a very good reputation. I believe that because they obviously have built for life guarantee. So JJ proudly guarantees the quality and performance of all our products. Items with defects in materials or workmanship will be repaired or replaced at the discretion of JJ's for the practical lifetime of the product.
So, Paulus Wales again has said that the White Sphere one looks ace. From what I understand, that only fits onto their belts, though. I think they might have updated it to make it just a standard molly, but I think it only fits on their belt system.
That's not it. Is it?
No. So it's a dump pouch with a mag pouch already inside it.
Let me find it. I'll come back.
Yeah, I think Lance runs it. And then Call Signs Samurai said Mystery Ranch control is epic.
I can't find the white sphere one.
No, they might be out of stock at the moment because they were very popular.
I just like the idea. I mean, regardless of whichever choice you go with, we're not paid to advertise anything, just to clarify.
No.
I just love the idea of having something really small suddenly go really large. Just because just to have that capability of, all right, all of a sudden, I've got some carriage, I've got a bag, I've got, I just think it's very handy, especially when you go, I've got no fucking hands to pick these things up. Like, someone gives you, say you've got a load of mags already in your dump pouch, and someone gives you some piece of intel. I mean, we've had it before where someone's given us some computer components, like hard drives and things like that. You're like, oh shit, where do I put this? You don't want to stick it in your pocket. It's like, right, I can go to the dump pouch. You can tighten it up. It stays on there. But yeah, I mean, Marky Mark sums it up. Everyone's financial situation is different, but buying good gear is more of an investment. I mean, I will attest to this. When I got into airsoft, I was very much a case of, why the fuck would you go and spend £120, £130 on a plate carrier? Why are you spending all this money on bits of kit and the like? I bought myself a Condor plate carrier for, I think it was £40, something like that. It lasted me a decent while, probably talking about sort of 3 or 4 years. And then I thought, oh, this one's starting to get a bit ropey. It's time to upgrade. And I was looking around and ended up going, you know what? I'm gonna get myself a Warrior DCS plate carrier. I've now had that one for maybe 6 to 8 years, and I'm not in any way seeing the same level of degradation that I had on that first one that I had. So, I'm a firm believer that not necessarily paying more money means you get better quality, because I don't think it does. But better quality means you get better quality and you get more quality for your money.
Yes.
That makes sense. So it's not necessarily you need to spend more, but making sure you get the right quality product will make it last longer.
Which unfortunately sometimes means spending a bit more. There's one thing that I want to grab, so I'll be back 30 seconds.
No, that's fine. I'm going to talk about the next thing on the list that I had, which was organisation. Yes, so storage. When you are out and about, we have talked about on the show quite a lot. Lance was a big advocate of this. We still is. Storage of kit in different colour bags. Get yourself some different coloured waterproof bags. This one is a Mountain Warehouse dry bag, 5 litres. Comes in a lovely lime green. You can buy all sorts of different brands, all sorts of different colours, all sorts of different sizes. You can label these up if you want to, but it means that you will be able to find your stuff. Try to get into the habit of making sure that your kit is in a similar place each time. Don't start, if you've got a bag for medical supplies, just keep your medical supplies in there. If you've got a bag for your cook set, just keep your cook set in there. Get into the habit of making sure that you put your stuff back in the right place. And it will mean that you get that muscle memory of going, right, need my cook set, yellow bag, grab that, done.
Yep. I'm a big fan of the coloured bag way of thinking. The other one which I'm going to try next year is that I bought a load of green bags because some of the brighter colours do tend to stand out quite a bit, even at night. And for some reason, some of them just seem to glow when you put them under a red light. So you having a red light actually means nothing because you're illuminating yourself. So one thing that I did that someone spoke to me about was the bags that I bought have got like a loop on the outside, like sort of a little, it's almost like Molly, but only on one bit. And someone said about putting cable ties. So one cable tie will be food, 2 cable ties will be medical, 3 cable ties will be
Cable ties.
So you literally, more cable ties. But I thought that was quite a good way of looking at it. So that's going to be something that I try next year. So I've currently worked out what my coding is, and I've got a tiny little laminated bit of paper with the code on it for the first couple of events where I'm still going, well, hang on, which one's this? But I thought that was like, once you get used to it, I think that might be quite a good way of doing it.
It just massively speeds it up, and it means that when you're looking for stuff, keeping stuff in dry bags, roll bags, whatever like that, whatever you want to call them. They don't all have to be dry bags. It just means that you're keeping your stuff together. I had an absolute prime example. I went camping, last weekend before last. I was only in the car. I wasn't doing anything fancy. Just because I was there for one night. Just kept out in the car overnight. Managed to lose my keys. Didn't know where my key fob was. The whole drive home. I knew it was in the car because I could start the car, so that was fine. And I drove sort of 50 meters down from where I was camping, and then turned it off and turned it on again. So I knew the key fob was in the car, and it was there when I went to bed. But what I'd done is basically just stupidly, I put that in a corner. Well, that those things fall into little cracks and crevices. Keeping stuff in a bag, keeping it organised, firstly means that if you're on a MilSim, you have the chance. You have some hope in hell of being able to bug out quickly. If you've got your shit everywhere, no chance, because you'll be like under fire trying to get your stuff that you need to bug out of your camp. You're not going to be able to do that. But having your stuff together just means that you know where it is. You're not going to lose it. You run less risk of coming away from the event with less kit than when you joined. You're not going to be tearing your bag apart trying to find things because I threw that fork in last minute and now I don't remember which pouch it was in. Was it on my plate carrier or whatever like that? So just keep yourself organised. And funnily enough, Mark mentions there that he different dry bags for different things. Works a treat, though I've written on them too. These acrylic pens I will recommend till I die. So these are by Edding. They come in a variety of colours. They are permanent paint pens. So these are not just Sharpies or anything like that. This is actually a thick kind of paint-like ink. You can draw pretty much on anything with these. Works very similar to kind of the thick marker pens where you kind of have to... You shake them up and then you have to kind of recess the nib into the thing to kind of get the ink flowing. They come in a variety of colours. I've used these to make the NoFo riot shield. So, in terms of the ability to colour in vast areas, it took a while. I had to go over the thing again and again and again. But these are really great for marking up magazines. If you want to try and get that super alley tactical, check out my gun. Having your magazines marked with just simple numbers. If you've got 1 to 8, firstly, it means, I've lost one. But secondly, you can have your name on it. It looks cool. It's what real steel is. People count them. They put numbers on their magazines because they want to know what mags they are and stuff as well. So get yourself one of these. They're not that expensive. They come in different diameters. This one's a 2 to 3 mil pen. They come in different colours, so you can definitely get orange, white, yellow, and blue. And green, because we've used those for the medic colours at Op Phoenix on the water bottles. So just good bits of kit.
They're good.
And not to say that a Sharpie, Sharpies are good as well, but I just like the paint pens because they're more vibrant of a colour. Go on then, Andy, what were you getting?
So in regards to organisation, one thing that I've found is the Helicon Tech bag. I can't remember what they called it. It's the insert large EDL. There you go. Has loads of sections in it for these can fit Mark 5s in there perfectly. But the one thing that I like is that it's a separate bag on its own But then also, especially now, a lot of tactical rip, a lot of backpacks and things that I found now are starting to have Velcro attachments, and some people just don't like. You could Velcro that to the back of your plate carrier if you've got Velcro. It's a really strong Velcro. Rip it off, and you've got your kit there. This one's my maintenance kit, which has I took everything out other than the 2 pens.
I was going to say you just got 2 loop pens in there.
Yeah, but yeah, the rest of the stuff I chucked out, which is why I muted it. But it's got like there's loads of options in there for how you want to run it. I've got one that's my maintenance kit, and then I've got a green one which is my wash kit and stuff, and that fits all my toothpaste, toothbrushes, bit of deodorant, all in that. And like I've gone hiking with these are really good. I highly recommend them. They're not much at all. I think they're 10-15 quid, but they're the Helicon Techs, which I think like that Helicon Techs, everyone seems to turn their nose up at it, but I think it's actually a really good system. Like I think some of the stuff they have,
I really love Helicon Tech stuff.
I genuinely, I think like their training chest rig, I ran for years, and that was brilliant. Like it was perfect. Like highly recommend it, especially if you're on a bit on of a budget as well. But they're like their little bags and things like that, perfect. They do a bigger one as well, they do an extra large one, which I think I'll probably buy for pyro and things. And they are they're quite waterproof as well. Like you could be in a downpour, and they'll get wet eventually, because they're not a sealed bag. But yeah, highly recommend those, especially for organisation.
If I could get sponsored by a company, genuinely, Helicon Techs would be one of the ones I would love to get sponsored by, because like their Swagman roll would be something I've got my eyes on at the moment, because they got a reversible version.
Yeah, I like
of
that.
I really like the snow one, but I'm never going to be able to use it because we very rarely get snow. And I still haven't used my the German snow cover that you got.
Yeah, I know.
I've got all this snow kit that I just never use.
Just blame global warming, mate. That's what everyone else does.
I know. I'd have better luck trying to go in like hiding in a polystyrene factory or something like that. Like,
yeah, I mean, we could go to a country next year in their winter.
What, Iceland? Greenland. That's that.
Greenland. Cold. Yeah. I mean, there's countries out there that get snow. Sweden.
Yeah.
Germany.
Not bad shout.
Yeah, see? Throw all our snow gear on.
We're here for the snow. You've come in the summer. Yeah. Oh, man.
Yeah. Damn it.
Dagnammit. Right, so the next thing is personal comfort and protection. So I can't talk about this enough. Hydration is so important when you go airsofting. You need to have hydration methods. Now, be it you've got, the Super Trooper carrier system of like 20 liters that's got 3 mouthpieces on it that I can't remember. Somebody showed me.
Oh yeah,
like,
that was me and Lance. Lance showed us.
Yeah, like it's like a human water tanker bag, or down to a couple bottles of 500ml water or something like that you can get. Just make sure that you've got some water bottles on you. Personally, I quite like the Kangaroo system, which is the Source 1 litre hydration bladder. The prices of them have just gone through the roof, and I feel bad for rating them because I don't like people wasting money on stuff, because they never used to be that expensive, and I don't know why they've gone up. I don't know if it's current climate or something like that, but the Source 1 litre one is it's a great product, because it's basically a little square 1 litre bladder that you can put anywhere on your plate carrier or anything like that. The hose comes over, and then I say you can put it anywhere. I wouldn't put it in certain places because obviously if you've got a Bergen on or something like that, you're going to be in. It's not going to be very comfy. But you can put this thing pretty much in most places. Route it over to your shoulder. So you've got that, and you've just got a litre of water that you hardly know you're carrying. Water bladders and things like that you've got in backpacks or things. It's kind of a lot more. I'll say noticeable, but unless you've got a back panel on with that bladder in it, that's effectively where that has to go, because the 2 litre ones generally are kind of, you're talking maybe a foot in height. The 1 litre one, I can have it on my hip. It's not dangling down 2 foot off my hip. It's literally sort of snug with on the belt. So you've got that water supply. But just even little bottles of water, get them in a dump pouch or something like that. Make sure you carry enough water on you, because the number of people that you see go down just too hot, they're panting, they're dehydrated. It's just not clever.
No.
So I kind of recommend the Source 1 litre, but at the same time, it's pricey.
Like all of my kit, I've always run the 3 litre. I've either got the Source or the new Agilite one on my carrier at the moment. The thing I find difficult with them, until someone releases a bag that goes round that, so it has like a bit of a recess to go over back panels. Like if you're doing an event where you're slogging around with everything, you can't go wrong with just having a couple of bottles of water in your bag, in my opinion. Obviously you've always got the British what should we say, canteen. I don't think he's on here tonight, is he?
It's a water bottle. We got to call it a water bottle.
You can pick them up for nothing now, can't you? Like, you can pick them up. They're you go down to an army surplus store, you can pick them up for probably about £2-3 now. Like,
the Osprey
just make sure that they're clean. Yeah.
You see, the Osprey ones are really good. I have a couple of Osprey ones. They are for I'm going to call it a canteen because that's how I was brought up. For a canteen, they have a really good rubber seal on them. So a lot of the ones that kind of you had as kids, they have that kind of, that kind of cardboardy.
Oh, the cork
type
sort of
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, it's that kind of, you're never really sure quite what it is until it leaks, because you're like, oh, well, that didn't work. Whereas the Osprey ones, they come with a half decent bit of rubber in there. So when you tighten it up, it's gonna tighten. Sometimes you need to be careful not to over tighten it, because they are a nightmare to undo again. But I've never had one of those leak. But what I would say is, if you're going somewhere where you kind of want space as a practicality, a hard water bottle canteen is not always the best thing to go with, because it's space that doesn't compact down. So once you've drunk the water, you still have the volume of that canteen with you.
Yeah.
If you empty all that water out, you've just now got a hole in your bag with that. Whereas if you look at cheaper Evian bottles or something like that, which appreciate they're not sustainable, but ultimately once you're done with it, you can compress it down. You can buy reusable water bottles that are like that. So they're kind of like that accordion style type thing. So once you filled it up, obviously maximum volume.
Ribbed for your pleasure.
Yeah, and once it's empty, you can fold it all down. So that can be an advantage if you're tabbing around in a Bergen. The hard bottle Ospreys aren't always the best one for that. But that being said, they can crush the plastic water bottles. You would struggle to crush one of the BCB kind of Osprey Crusader bottles. So
I've got to admit, I've never seen one break that way. No, I've never seen one, like, even on the seams. I've never seen one split.
No, I've never stress tested it. It's not like I put one under a car or anything, but they are pretty bomb proof in terms of without, if you're looking after your kit, they're pretty bomb proof. You got to start lobbing them around and throwing them against cliffs and things like that, then obviously they're probably not going to last. But yeah, so hydration is key. Stay hydrated, even in winter, stuff like that. You're running around, you're expelling an awful lot of moisture, be it through sweat, breathing, anything like that. It's very, very important. The only other, I don't know if you had any kind of along those lines, Andy, in terms of personal kit.
Not really. The one thing that I always find fascinating is that we all do it, and I don't know many people that do, is that we all buy these like trousers, and they're all cargo trousers. They've all got 100,000 pockets in them. It's very rare that I actually see anyone using the side pockets to have, like, you know, the ones that are on your leg, like the big cargo pockets. I very rarely see people take stuff out of them. Like I use mine quite a lot. Like I purposely try to use mine now because it's just another area that you can keep stuff in. Use your trousers more. Use the kit that you've got. Like, do you know what I mean?
No, it's a fair comment. I mean, I must profess I've never noticed that myself. I tend to use the cargo pockets quite a lot. So I use the SFU Next trousers by Helicon Tex, funnily enough. And they actually have retention loops in them, sort of bungees. And funnily enough, I was at an event. It was the Defiant Battle Sim, because I didn't have. Obviously, I got the MWS at that point.
Yep.
I didn't have. Yeah. MWS. I didn't have enough mag pouches on me because I hadn't needed to. You know, I was generally running an AEG before that with a mid cap.
Or high
not
cap.
Not for the real cap event. No, mid cap generally. I'll insist. But I never really needed more. So, but I was in that situation. I was like, I need to carry more mags. And someone had loaned me, a good friend Danny had loaned me some gas bowback mags for the MWS. So that was grand. But I didn't have any pouches for them. So I was actually using the inbuilt ones that were in the trousers, which was really handy.
Yeah, they're really good.
So I do recommend those ones. But I can't really say I haven't seen a lot of people use their trousers. I just as a concept. Just make sure you wear trousers. That's the takeaway of the episode.
Chris Berry, make sure you bring trousers. But no, it's just something that I've noticed on my MilSim travels.
Yeah. No, fair enough. We're kind of coming to the end of the show now, but is there anything that we haven't we could kind of loosely categorize some of these things. I've got one thing that I wanted to mention that I know I'm going to get the piss taken out of me for, so I will bring it up anyway. I don't care.
Hang on. No, don't be Chris.
So I mentioned this. So long-time viewers of the show know that I have a bit of a fascination with cordage.
Oh, yeah.
And I will mention this. having a little spool of cord is very handy. If something goes wrong, you know, if you've got jungle knots or anything attached to your basher and they fail, if you need to tie something to something else for whatever reason, hoisting a flag, you know, something's broken and you need to tie it or lash it together. You know, there's a whole host of things that you could potentially use cordage for. I recommend the UHMWPE cord. I don't know who makes this per se, but it's apparently 15 times stronger than steel, resistant to abrasion, UV chemicals, creep. It's lightweight and it floats. So, basically, sorry, I just read the comment of Call Sign Samurai Mark, map and a nav kit in the cargo pocket, and then immediately, obviously, then nav challenge.
Yeah.
Great man.
He's like, yes, we are now
all over that.
Spirits.
I recommend this cordage. This is a really, really good cordage. Basically, and I'm just trying to find the thing. This 18 mil cord, or sorry, no, 0.8 mil cord, so it's tiny, a thin little cord. Apparently has the tension strain of 100 kilos.
Is that the same as? Is it amp steel? Amp steel?
It may be.
Cordage.
This isn't Amsteel. This is emmakites.com, which, I can't say is necessarily a reputable brand. I don't know. I've never had any problems with this. I've always used a cord kind of semi-appropriate to whatever I needed it for. This is probably quite good for actually flying kites and stuff like that. But, it's just a good... Look at how light that is. It's a tiny little reel. You could put some of that on a smaller reel if you want to. You can get the little paracord dispenser systems. I don't know if you've seen those. It's almost similar to that, but a little bit smaller. So you can rewrap this around something else. But having some decent cordage on you is going to be helpful. You don't need a lot. You don't necessarily need to be running hundreds of meters of cord with you. But if you're going to be, I don't know, say you're setting up a trip alarm somewhere. We've had events where we've done that. You've had events where you're going to be using trip mines, kind of Beasley mines or something like that. Having some decent cordage on you is going to help with that. If there's no point rocking up with a trip alarm going, right, I've got a pin here and I've got no way of attaching it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I use fishing wire.
Yeah, fishing. To be fair, tripwires is a really poor idea for this, because if it's 100 kilo tension strain and you get someone run into it, they're going to have a problem. So if you're going to use something for tripwires, use fishing wire with a very low breaking strain. Don't use this. I was trying to come up with some scenarios to justify my reason for carrying cordage, and that was a poor one to have, unfortunately.
I mean, the flying kites and the flags is great. Where's the drone?
I'm sorry.
Mike's controlling it with his cordage.
It's just good stuff. Like
I've got to admit, I am also on board with a bit of cordage in your kit for a weekend, because, as you said, you never know when it comes in handy.
No, I mean, okay. So to give you an idea, this is a 0.8. I've just looked it up. This is a 0.8 millimeter thread diameter thread, which is apparently rated to 220 pounds, which is approximately 100 kilos, right? 1.3 millimeters of this stuff. So we're not going up much. We're adding 5 mil, 0.5 mil to this. That goes up to 520 pounds, which you're now looking at 200 kilos. So that's now like human supporting, but for not a lot more. So if you're in a hammock or anything like that, and you want to have something half decent that you're laying in, say it snaps, you've got something there that you can repair it. 1.6 millimeters of this stuff goes up to 750 pounds. Which in UK weights is 340 kilos, which two lots of that, not that one specifically, but 2 lots of the 1.6 one. Now you're at potentially 680 kilos that you're able to support with that, which is an awful lot of weight for not a lot of thread.
I'd like to test that.
We can test it if you like. I've got a variety of them. I got excited. I was like, "Oh wow!"
I thought you would.
I mean, the maximum they go up to, and then they're not horrifically expensive either. You can get a real. Where is it on here? So the 0.8 millimeter diameter for 31 meters is £15.
It's not bad.
But the highest one they've got on here is the 3 millimeter, which goes up to £2,200, which is basically a ton in kilos. No, not a ton. It's 1,000 kilos. 1,000 kilos. You're talking.
I was going to say, your maths is off.
Yeah. Yeah. Mark, you could lift an engine out of a car with some of that cord. I know, right?
Yeah, we're going to test this.
Yeah, we can test it. Strong that way. Tested it, mate. Right, let's read some of the comments. Fat Pigeon, is that the 4UD pens? Go back to the grease pens.
I don't know which ones I got you. I think they are for you.
I don't have them to hand.
Mine are the Jaeger Precision ones, which are basically the same thing. I'll show you. Now I've got the bag. It's basically just them. And they have a little... I've used this one. And literally you just press them and then smear. Basically, that's all they are. Nothing particularly special. But yeah, highly recommend them. Obviously, I stick with Jaeger. But
I'm surprised Durex haven't come out with a no, I was just thinking like an applicator like that could be quite entertaining.
Hang on a minute, love.
Like a felt tip pen. I'm just going to draw a little picture. It just amused me. Yeah, 1,000 kilos is a ton. No, isn't 100 a ton?
No, 1,000.
When you get to 100 on the motorway, if you were to ever drive at 100 on a motorway, you'd say, I've got to a ton.
Yeah, but that's 1,000 kilograms.
Yes, it is 1,000. Yeah, it's not 1,000 grams, is it? Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Thank you, Mark. Pegasus, an old bike inner tube makes a great elastic band for cable management. That's a cool idea. I've never considered that.
I like that.
I've always generally gone for cable ties mostly. I find Andy's bag of 4 cable ties and I go, right, I need a cable tie. So I go into the bag of cable ties.
Yeah.
But
the one thing that
cable management, yeah, go on.
The one thing that, you know, the fabric cable ties, the Velcro cable ties as they were, the ones that are like Velcro, they are absolutely like, I use them a lot more than I use cable ties now, because cable ties I find that they can pinch and rub the cable, like insert, especially if you've got one going over the shoulder and you've just got a little cable tie holding it in place. Eventually, it can wear through that rubber cording. Whereas these, you can't see it, but I've got them all over the shop for this setup. But they are literally just cable ties. Like they thread through themselves and they Velcro in place. And they're so much better. Like so much better. And that and you can pick like, I think it's like a pack of 50 off of Amazon for like 6-7 quid.
Thought I might have one in front of me.
I think most people have seen what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, I could probably take one off here.
While you're doing that, Paul as well, the pain with UK legal knives isn't the length issue, it's that they can't be locking, which I really think is a safety thing. Slip joints have the potential to close on your hand if you aren't careful. Yeah.
So one of them.
Oh, yeah.
So it literally feeds in for itself and then Velcros back onto itself.
I mean,
and
to be fair,
that is strong.
You don't even need to have it felt like thread through itself. That's obviously just helping lock it together.
Yeah, because I don't know if you can see that.
Yeah,
that locks itself in, and I can literally. I was putting a lot of effort into that, and they don't damage.
I was just gonna say, if you didn't need, say you had like a really long strip of it, and you only need like a little loop, you could still cut the extra off and then keep reusing that, because obviously it's the same product. Whereas a cable tie, once you've used a cable tie, that's it. Because as soon as you've gone through that locking mechanism, that's, there's an awful lot of plastic that you lose off cable ties because of that reason.
Yeah, and the good thing is, like you said, if you have a load of excess that you don't need, you can cut it down. They're brilliant for cable management. I've got them on. I've got them on my Mark 18 as well, because like you can get them in different lengths, and although it's Velcro, it's not like a rough Velcro on the outside. Like you're not, some Velcro you can rub your hand along the.
Oh, it's like sandpaper.
Yeah. Whereas these, it's not like you could quite happily hold on to that for a good couple of hours.
I've never considered. Sorry, you obviously male and female connectors. I understand the concept of. So like a normal plug socket is described as a male and female connector. So male is obviously designed as the thing that goes inside the other thing. Hence male and female on that front. Velcro is an interesting one because I don't know which side of the Velcro I'd describe as a male connector.
Well, the male bit is the hard erect spikes,
as opposed to the fluff that grabs it.
The fluff that you put your spikes into.
This obviously is.
I mean, I'm just making it sexual.
Yeah, it's not obviously a conversation about gender or sexuality or anything like that. It's just that's how cables and things are described as obviously male and female connections. But I would struggle to define Velcro on that front. It's almost like male and male to me. Just because they're both hook and loop. But I don't know. That's an interesting concept. I've never thought that's gonna ponder me all evening.
So would you say that Velcro is gender neutral?
I think Velcro is probably the most diverse of the connected systems. Gavin, going back onto dump pouches, I've got a 511 dump pouch. Great bits of kit, but a little pricey. In terms of marking up kit, Landnav Challenge, it uses paracord with different amounts of knots. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
You can also use beads and things as well if you're not a knot tire.
If you're not a knot tire.
Well, it might not be a knot tire.
It's not hard to do a knot, is it?
Well, if you're not a knot tire, knot tire, get yourself some cord and then you can play around and practice to being a knot tire. So then way you would not be a knot tire.
Yeah. Maybe that could be an episode.
What, knot tying? Or
not tying. Or not tying. Oh, I'd find that quite. Let me know what you think. Shall we have someone shall we have a knotting on the show?
Someone knotting.
Someone knotting. Teach us how to do knots.
I booked a gran. We got knitting instead of knotting. I got the wrong letter. On the subject of the acrylic pens, Polar Squirrel says, great pens, especially for marking on plastic, like a riff. I use the Posca ones to write on my mags. Pegasus says, numbering mags for GBBR helps identify problem mags as well.
Yes.
Another thing to consider. Gavin, something I have to get is an admin pouch for the smaller items I need to get organised. So they are good. The other one I was going to suggest on that front, because when I saw that come in, you can get the little mesh bags. I think you can buy them on just like eBay and stuff like that. I don't know if they're necessarily a brand, but they generally have a strip of hook or male gender neutral Velcro on the underside of them, and they are effectively designed. If you know this is more of a conversation with you now, Andy, but you know the medical bags that you get, the DPM. Old school medical bags that are just like loop Velcro all the way on the inside. And you basically just stick everything in there. So they're really good for that. But if you want a bag that's kind of like odds and sods, basically, it's like, right, I just want like a little mesh pouch. Those bags are really good. You can open them up there. They're effectively envelope shaped. Zip comes down the middle, so you can peel the thing apart and you can see everything that's in there. The mesh means that you can kind of see through it as well, but you can just cut off the Velcro, because I find the Velcro is unnecessary. It's quite a sharp, cheap Velcro, the one I've got anyway. So I just cut it off because I didn't need it, and I've just literally used it as like a little stuff pouch with a zip on it. So if you need something for small items, that's quite a good little way of doing it. Landnav Challenge, the Viper is great. I have one on my shooter's belt and one on my foraging bum bag. That's a good shout. Gavin Reed, Norway, Sweden, Finland, Switzerland. Plenty of options for snow-based airsoft shenanigans.
Shenanigans. I mean, anywhere that snows. Like Scotland, they get snow. So we don't even have to go abroad.
We'll see it on the news. I can just see it now, like snow hits middle of England or whatever like that. You know, we all live in the south, so we don't get snow.
Yeah.
We're in, it's too sunny down here all the time. It's just lovely. But snow hits middle of England. Airsofters flock to region.
Yeah.
Just we're coming.
Yeah.
Just donning white kit.
Yeah. I've got to admit, the last time I played a snow game was like quite a few years ago now. It's got to be going on 5-6 years since I last played a snow game.
I have 2 full snow loadouts.
Do you?
Not weapon platforms. The weapon platforms aren't in any way camouflage, but I have two well, kind of 3. If you throw the German snow shroud poncho thing that you got me, then that's technically a 3rd. I have a problem.
Yeah. No wonder you had to buy a double garage.
Yeah. I don't even know where it all is. I'll have to dig all that out. That'll be a photo for the new year. I'll tell you what, we need to do the NoFo calendar for next year. That'll be Christmas.
Yep.
Or February, I guess, nowadays, because it doesn't really snow.
I'm going to buy you a couple of mannequins and just have them set up for you so you can just put kit that you'll never use again, like snow kit.
I would need a
on
whole
this
load
mannequin.
more than a couple. A lot more than a couple. It's terrible. Just to finish off, Marky Mark, I have a 1.5 litre in my Molly backpack on my plate carrier. This is talking about hydration bladders. Upgraded the hose and bite valve to camelback ones. Backpack doesn't really interfere when lugging my Bergen. So, yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I found it quite uncomfortable to have a pack on and a Bergen. Sometimes it's challenging with a plate carrier. If you then throw a plate carrier with a pack, your day sack or something like that, with a hydration bladder, and then also Bergen on top, there's an awful lot of stuff trying to put all in the same place. But each to their own. You know, if it works for you, that's fine. Not everything's going to work for everybody. Pegasus' last snow game was at the jail. Can't remember the event, but the shotgun and pistol game went very poorly.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Oh, I could do a pistol game with my new little blunderbuss, couldn't I? Right. On that note, we will be back next Wednesday at 8 o'clock. We're going to be doing our Christmas episode next week, so no doubt it will be the usual chaos.
Tinsel, festive hats.
I've got to have to dig out my Christmas tactical elf loadout.
Sparkly lights. I might even get some sparkly lights.
Ooh, that'd be nice. I might. I've currently got a Glock there, the little tiny one. I don't know if anyone's picked up on that. You can just about see it on top of the ammo can.
Where's the little AK?
That, Andy, got moved when the Christmas decorations came out, and I don't know where it's been put yet. I need to dig that out. I have been vandalised with my decorating. It's been removed temporarily, so I need to dig that one back out. I'll put some tinsel on it. I'll make it festive. That'll be fine. Festive.
Yeah, we'll be festive.
Right. So join us next week. We will likely have some games and bits and pieces that we'll be doing, as well as a bit of a wrap up of the year. If you have anything that you specifically want us to mention, then please feel free to throw it in the chat. One thing that I just realised we hadn't mentioned, Andy, that we were going to, was there was the new camo that came out that somebody was playing around with on the Queen's Play DPM Appreciation Society, which was something that we did mean to cover, which I will just bring up quickly. So
I actually really like it.
Yeah, this is a camo pattern that someone has created. They've actually made it into like a full-on...
wasn't it a Cry combat shirt
as well? Yeah. No, there's nothing there that I can't show. Probably should have checked that beforehand. So this is the Yoga Praditya Simpson. Yoga Praditya Simpson. Here is my version of multi-terrain DPM, or I call it CDPM, Camo Volts DPM. Sublimation printed on polyester ripstop and made into a Cry field shirt styled jacket. And it's kind of like, I think it's almost like a multicam with just DPM printed on top.
I thought it was DPM using multicam colours and smaller blotches.
I don't know.
I like it.
It looks like a multicam underneath, and someone's kind of overlaid with DPM. But I like it. I think it's
I like it.
It's certainly a very nice kind of balance, but
Mm.
The only thing I would say is that it kind of goes down the route of more of DPM, and I kind of wonder why you wouldn't just pick DPM at that point.
Well, I mean, the DPM patterning on it's a lot smaller. Like DPM in itself is quite it's quite a bulky color, isn't it? Like it's whereas that to me, obviously we can only go off the pictures.
Yeah. I don't know. That to me looks like it's almost taken bits of the DPM color scheme out, and it's just printed. It's like a mashup of DPM and multicam, isn't it? But yeah, let us know what you think. It'd be interesting to hear.
Yeah.
Certainly a different take on something. There was a lot of love for it on the old chat comment section below. Now that's really nice, says Peter Barber. Fear Gas Porteous Gregory says, nice, I want it. And somebody then starts to rickroll.
Yeah.
But thanks for Lance for finding that one. Nice little bit of tidbit of information. So Pegasus says, at first glance, it looks like a real tree.
I'm a tree.
Oh, Marky Mark's on that group. He's developing that pattern for a couple of months. It's DPM in the style of MTP. That's cool.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. But if you've got anything you want us to mention, then you can get in touch with us on our email at nofochat@hotmail.com. Our Instagram is at November_Foxtrot_NoFo, and the website is novemberfoxtrot.co.uk. You can also get in touch with us individually on our Instagrams at 9voltairsoft, at @_Quartermaster, or to get in touch with Lance at the _punished_1_.
Unless you're selling patches, then sod off. I'm sick of, hello there. Do you want to buy patches? No, because if I did, I'd contact someone. Leave us alone.
I'm pretty certain a lot of them are just the same company, just coming back with different names as well.
Yeah. Hello, my name's Steve.
Yeah.
No, it's not, because you're from China.
Definitely not called Steve. We'll be back Wednesday, 8:00 next week. Get ready for a Christmas party
with the Christmas show.
Might even do a game. I'm hoping Lance will be back as well for next week. That'd be good.
I might even glitter my beard.
Ooh, when are you going to glitter? Is your dog called Buster? Baxter?
Yeah.
Buster.
No, I was going to get him for our 24-hour event.
Orange.
He's going to be taken to a special dog painter, and he will be painted like a fox.
I'll just do it if you want. I'm sure I could buy the ingredients off of Amazon.
I mean, if it was me, it'd just be orange spray paint, but apparently that's cruel. So
yeah. Oh, I was going to use like I don't know, carrot powder or something.
Carrot powder. He'd probably eat himself. Fat little.
Right. On that note, closing words.
That's you this week.
Can I do the? Yeah. Okay. So closing words for me are: pay attention to what other people are using. Make notes of things that you struggle with. And when you're out and about, you think, oh, yeah, if only I had this, that'll make life a bit easier.
Mm-hmm.
And just, look after your kit. Make sure you keep tabs on what you've got, what you don't have, what might make life easier.
Yep.
Yeah. There you go. Right. See you next week. Have a good one.
See you next week.
Say goodbye, Andy.
Bye, Andy. Say goodbye, Mike.
Goodbye, Mike. See you later.
Ciao. Stay NoFo. Ciao, Bella.
Ciao and all that lovely.
Yeah. Love you. Do we?